Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to be showing you how I changed the oil in my Titan Implement 48-inch chain tiller. There's really no information in the manual. I'll show a screenshot of the manual here in a second, but basically all the manual tells you is the type of oil to use in it. It doesn't tell you the quantity or how to change it. So I've looked all over this unit itself and I don't see a drain plug or anything, so I'm just going to be investigating how I get the oil out of here and how I know it's full. Hopefully this video will help you if you need to change the oil in your tiller. If you enjoy this content, please subscribe. I appreciate you watching. Thank you. I don't know if you can see this in there. Try to spin this with my foot. Looks like a set of bevel gears that mesh at an angle in there. You can see a lot of metal flake. I have not changed this oil yet. The manual tells you pretty much nothing. I don't even see a way to get a hose down in there because those gears are in the way, so I can't get a hose in there to suck out all the oil. I'm going to take this off and see if I can get the oil out. There is no drain anywhere around this thing. Nowhere. There's nothing up underneath. It's just that plate. So I'm gonna take off this plug and see if it's if I can get the oil out right there. That looks like the hole. A lot of metal flake in there. I don't know if you can see that metallic in there. The manual doesn't tell you the level. Typically on these gearbox units, these PTO driven gearboxes, they want the oil basically to the top of the bottom race of the bearing. So like in this case, this bearing, you would want the oil level up to, try if I get my finger down there, at least submerging this bottom portion of these roller bearing, or these ball bearings. That way, as they spin around, they bring the oil up with it and keep this bearing lubricated. At least that's my interpretation. Nobody's ever explained it to me, but that's what I can figure. All right, I'm gonna try to get a hose in there and suck out this oil.
What?
Not right now, I'm changing this oil. I keep a smaller diameter hose with this transfer pump, and I slide it inside the other hose if I have to reach in smaller holes like this one. So I tried this hole and I get the hose down in there, and as I start pumping I notice there's no oil coming up, and I can't really see what's in there, but from what I can tell that hose is actually not getting down into the oil. There's the heel, that bevel gear has a shaft on it that goes out and attaches to that drive shaft, and the shaft of that bevel gear is pretty much blocking that hole, so it's curling the hose back instead of letting it go down into the oil. So I'm gonna try the other hole here, transfer it over, and there's the two bevel gears in there where they mesh. There's like a V on the right side that I might be able to fit that hose down through, so I'm going to try that. And what I ended up finding out is that it would fit, but I had to turn the drive shaft while pushing the hose down in so that the gears kind of help pull that hose down into the oil. So that's what I do next here. So there you can see that hose kind of pop down in there. And this first pump, you see the oil start to come up that hose. And it actually doesn't take very long, and I start to get air. So there's actually not that much oil in this gearbox. So it'll empty it out pretty quick. I don't know if you can tell, I can see it. Looks pretty empty. Hard to tell.
Daddy, what's that right there? What's this?
I don't know what that says. Oh, it says watch your feet. See? It shows the tiller catching your foot. Imagine that.
What's this? What's it mean? What's that mean right there?
I don't know. Do you know what that one means?
What does it
Manual does tell you to use 00 grease EP00. So that's what I'm using. I got this at Tractor Supply. I had to order it online and ship to store. I did notice that this stuff tends to separate a little bit. This has been sitting on my shelf in the garage for like a year, and I noticed yesterday it was separated a little bit. So I'm gonna mix it up. Hey, once I'm done with this, we're gonna put the mower on and cut the grass. Sound good? I don't know if I can show you the consistency of this stuff.
Oh,
There you go.
why aren't we done right now?
I shined the flashlight on the oil here. Thought it would give you a better visual of the color and the consistency, but it looks like it did the opposite. It's hard to see, but it's kind of a bluish color. I'm just checking here. It's really hard to see the level past that shaft and the gears. So as I spin that drive shaft, the shaft of that bevel gear in there kind of brings the oil up with it. So it's really hard to see the level when you rotate it. But once you let it settle back down, I can kind of tell that the oil level is like right at the bottom of that shaft, which has the bottom of that bearing submerged, which is good and what we want. Okay, thanks, buddy. Perfect. That should last. That one cord should last a long time. That didn't take very much to fill up. I'm gonna put Teflon on these threads because I store this tiller outside, keep the moisture from getting inside the gearbox. There is an O-ring on this thing, but it's in rough shape. Pretty bad condition. So I'm gonna Teflon tape it. I'm gonna check the oil now that it's had time to settle down. so thick that when you spin that drive shaft, it sucks the oil up and around, so it looks full, but once it settles out, it was probably just below this main input shaft. So I put a little bit more in to kind of submerge the bottom end of that bearing. Call that good. I'm just putting the plugs back in, and that's going to conclude this video. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed, or I hope it was useful to you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'll help you if I can. Thanks again. Okay, that's it. Good to go.